Merry Christmas.
Okay, so welcome to Disability Pride Month. Okay, so let's start. Congenital amputation. Congenital amputation is birth without a limb or limbs, or without a part of a limb or limbs. The exact cause is unknown and can result from a number of causes.
I come bearing three gifts.
Like one of the wise men?
Exactly.
Not completely.
Except for the wise part.
Something warmer has started to take its place.
Is it
He
weird
reached
that
out.
Two of these
There's only one high school, one block from the
can,
definitely know your name.
just read it off the screen.
It wasn't a perfect fix.
Okay, so notable congenital amputees. Stephanie Dixon, born missing her right leg and hip.
That's lemon focus.
Kevin Lowe, born missing his left arm just below his elbow. Nick Newell,
To talk about.
same thing. Jessica Cox, first licensed armless pilot in aviation history and was born without both arms.
And I am in between jobs.
Body integrity dysphoria.
Besides, you got her a ticket.
It's a rare mental disorder characterized by a desire to have a sensory or physical disability or feeling discomfort with being able-bodied, beginning in early adolescence and resulting in harmful consequences.
Like you having autism, you have a disability.
Stop.
Yeah, but that's not body integrity dysphoria.
It's in your name. You can spend Christmas in Bergen.
I can't pick up and go
Um,
the other way.
People with this condition may refer to themselves as transabled, but the term is controversial.
The ticket is non-refundable. I just hate seeing it go to waste. We say goodbye to Bergen.
You are
Okay, visual impairment.
2, you're vaguely in between jobs, which I'm pretty sure means you're an international jewelry. 3, I don't believe in fake.
I guess I count as this technically because I can't see from far away without my glasses. So yeah. Visual impairment is the partial or total inability of visual perception in the absence of treatment such as corrective eyewear, assistive devices, and medical treatment. Visual impairment may cause the individual difficulties with normal daily tasks, including reading and walking.
We'd love to have you over for Christmas dinner.
You're lovely my party messaged me and I confirm.
It was the beginning, and
So,
this time
you're not taking the free ticket?
together.
We go to Norway with a jewel thief? I don't even drive out to Lake Minnetonka right now.
Pappy, I have an eye chart. What is my reading level? Is it 2050 or 2020?
Care for your brother. Another extension to recover from the loss. Or a third.
I don't really know.
Remember Larry? The guy with 2 sets of twins?
What?
Chris said he would wrap up a dissertation in 2 weeks.
Okay, so technically I do count as being visually impaired because I do wear eyeglasses, which is an assistive device. So, yeah. The most common causes of visual impairment globally are uncorrected refractive errors 43%, cataracts 33%, and glaucoma 2%. Refractive errors include nearsightedness, farsightedness, presbyopia, and astigmatism.
Bill, I can't do that. You know I can't.
I know you think you can't. Serious question. Do you see any irony in the fact that your dissertation deals with polar ice caps, and yet you've never been anywhere near either pole? Do you know that Berlin...
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, it is.
I have nearsightedness.
There's a university there. I always wanted to see the Northern Lights. I'm gonna be 100
So,
years old
yeah.
when my last kid goes home. I don't know when I'll get the chance. So, go to Berlin, send some pictures.
Okay, congenital disorders.
Then, you can have your extension.
Albinism.
And this takes precedence over Christmas dinner.
Albinism is the congenital absence of melanin in an animal or plant, resulting in white hair, feathers, scales, and skin, and reddish pink or blue eyes. Sorry, guys. Congenital disorders of breast.
Because I will elbow you if you snort.
Amastia. Amastia refers to a rare clinical anomaly in which both internal breast tissue and the visible nipple are absent on one or both sides. It affects both men and women. Athelia. The congenital absence of one or both nipples. It is a rare condition. It sometimes occurs on one side in children with the Poland sequence and on both sides in certain types of ectodermal dysplasia. Supernumerary nipple. It's an additional instance. This is actually what I think Harry Styles has.
It's my superpower. Did you get any rest?
No.
Why not?
Physics?
Tuberous breast.
My body holds up to plenty.
It's an interesting theory. Have you tested it?
Yeah, of course. And the results
It
are
can
what I said.
occur in both men and women.
So I am the reason you're alive. Now, will you please explain why I'm carrying all this duty-free wine?
Alcohol is very expensive here, so it's obligatory to stock up when you get through an airport. A national responsibility, really.
Okay, got it. I'm tired. And there's my ride. So, goodbye.
May I recommend B-Bahn?
The B what?
B-Bahn, our light rail train. It's significant.
Electric don't ever go out.
Cystic fibrosis.
Good morning.
A genetic disorder inherited in an autosomal recessive manner that impairs the normal clearance of mucus from the lungs, which facilitates the colonization and infection of the lungs by bacteria, notably. I'm not even gonna say that. Okay, deafness. Deafness has varying definitions in cultural and medical contexts. In medical contexts, the meaning of deafness is hearing loss that precludes a person from understanding spoken language, an audiological condition. Okay, dyslexia. Dyslexia, previously known as word blindness, is a learning disability that affects either reading or writing. Different people are affected to different degrees. Okay, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a neurodegenerative disease and the cause of 60 to 70% of cases of dementia. The most common early symptom is difficulty in remembering recent events. As the disease advances, symptoms can include problems with language, disorientation, including easily getting lost, mood swings, loss of motivation, self-neglect, and behavioral issues. ADHD. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by symptoms of inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity, and emotion dysregulation that are excessive and pervasive, impairing in multiple contexts and developmentally inappropriate. Autism. Autism, also known as autism spectrum disorder, is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by differences or difficulties in social communication and interaction, a preference for predictability and routine, sensory processing differences, focused interest, and repetitive behaviors, which may include stimming. Autism is a spectrum disorder resulting in wide variations in presentation and support needs, such as that between speaking and non-speaking populations. I'm level 1 autistic. Formerly known as Kanner syndrome, autistic disorder, childhood autism, Asperger's syndrome, childhood disintegrative disorder, and pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified. Childhood disintegrative disorder, also known as Halo syndrome and disintegrative psychosis, is a rare condition characterized by late onset of developmental delays or severe and sudden reversals in language, receptive and expressive, social engagement, bowel and bladder, play, and motor skills. Researchers have not been successful in finding a cause for the disorder. CDD has some similarities to autism and is sometimes considered a low-functioning form of it. Now, low-functioning is not used anymore. Dyscalculia. I actually think I might have this. Dyscalculia is a learning disability resulting in difficulty learning or comprehending arithmetic, such as difficulty in understanding numbers, numeracy, learning how to manipulate numbers, performing mathematical calculations, and learning facts in mathematics.
And she responded, the same grandmother that has never figured out her.
It is sometimes referred to as math dyslexia, though this analogy can be misleading as they are distinct syndromes. I have problems with word problems. Yeah, always had as a kid, so that's why I think I have this. Okay, intellectual disability. Intellectual disability is a generalized neurodevelopment disorder characterized by significant impairment in intellectual and adaptive functioning that is first apparent during childhood. Children with intellectual disabilities typically have an IQ below 70 and deficits in at least 2 adaptive behaviors that affect everyday living. According to the DSM-5, intellectual functions include reasoning, problem solving, planning, abstract thinking, judgment, academic learning, and learning from experience. Mild cognitive impairment is a diagnosis that reflects an intermediate stage of cognitive impairment that is often but not always a transitional phase from cognitive changes in normal aging to those typically found in dementia, especially dementia due to Alzheimer's disease or Alzheimer's dementia. Pervasive developmental disorders. I'm on video. Pervasive developmental disorders was a group of disorders characterized by delays in the development of multiple basic functions, including socialization and communication. Apraxia of speech, also called verbal apraxia, is a speech sound disorder affecting an individual's ability to translate conscious speech blends into motor blends, which results in limited and difficult speech ability. Selective mutism. Selective mutism is an anxiety disorder in which a person who is otherwise capable of speech becomes unable to speak when exposed to specific situations, specific places, or to specific people, one or multiple of which serve as triggers. Cerebral palsy, a group of movement disorders that appear in early childhood. Signs and symptoms vary among people and over time, but include poor coordination, stiff muscles, weak muscles, and tremors. There may be problems with sensation, vision, hearing, and speech. Often, babies with cerebral palsy do not roll over, sit, crawl, or walk as early as other children. Other symptoms may include seizures and problems with thinking or reasoning. While symptoms may get more noticeable over the first years of life, underlying problems do not worsen over time. Down syndrome, also known as trisomy 21, is a genetic disorder caused by the presence of all or part of a third copy of chromosome 21. It is usually associated with developmental delays, mild to moderate intellectual disability, and characteristic physical features. A funny story. I was actually misdiagnosed with it. Yeah. Tourette syndrome. Okay. Tourette syndrome, or simply Tourette's, is a common neurodevelopmental disorder that begins in childhood or adolescence. It is characterized by multiple movement, motor tics, and at least one vocal phonic tic. Common tics are blinking, coughing, throat clearing, sniffing, and facial movements. These are typically preceded by an unwanted urge or sensation in the affected muscles known as premonitory premonitory urge can sometimes be suppressed temporarily and characteristically change in location, strength, and frequency. Tourette's is at the more severe end of a spectrum of tic disorders. The tics often go unnoticed by casual observers. Echolalia. Okay, echolalia is the repetition of vocalizations made by another person. When repeated by the same person, it is called polylalia. In its profound form, it is automatic and effortless. It is one of the echo phenomena closely related to echopraxia. The automatic repetition of movements made by another person, both are subsets of imitative behavior. Whereby sounds or actions are imitated without explicit awareness. Echolalia may be an immediate reaction to a stimulus or may be delayed.
Introducing Sarah Origins. My collaboration with Espresso was a connection to my roots, to my mother, Sarah.
It's not a disorder itself or disability itself, but it occurs in many cases of autism spectrum disorder and Tourette syndrome. Also, in some forms of dementia or stroke-related aphasia. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, FASDs, are a group of conditions that can occur in a person who is exposed to alcohol during gestation. Okay, type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, formerly known as juvenile diabetes, is an autoimmune disease that occurs when the body's immune system destroys pancreatic cells or beta cells.
She said slowly, as if each word needed to be carefully crafted. Acceptable.
Type 2 diabetes, formerly known as adult onset diabetes, is a form of diabetes mellitus that is characterized by high blood sugar, insulin resistance, and relative lack of insulin.
The university isn't far. I want to go take a picture for Bill. He says Bergen is the birthplace of modern weather forecasting.
I think I'm with you. You want?
Yeah, thank you.
Huh. There's also a type 3C diabetes.
On muscle, of course. I needed some alterations for the wedding. Just to try it on.
But I'm not gonna talk about that.
It's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, epilepsy. Abdominal epilepsy. It's a rare condition consisting of gastrointestinal disturbances caused by epilepsy from seizure activity. It is most frequently found in children, though a few cases of it have been reported in adults. It has been described as a type of temporal lobe epilepsy.
Stuff actually hurts. I wanted to be able to do this. Good evening. I'm Jessica Johnson, a super-chilled air mass for the Arctic. Create a level whiplash, dropping temperatures down below zero overnight.
Look at the hole.
As if she was going to begin a part of herself with the rubble of suffering. After that, my plans are shifted to research. My paper is titled Assessing Accidental Stratospheric Aerosol Injections in the Polar Regions.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental disorder that develops from experiencing a traumatic event such as SA, domestic violence, child abuse, warfare, and its associated traumas, natural disaster, traffic collision, or other threats on a person's life or well-being. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a stress-related mental disorder generally occurring in response to complex traumas. For example, commonly prolonged or repetitive exposure to a traumatic event or traumatic events from which one sees little or no chance to escape. Religious trauma syndrome. Religious trauma syndrome is classified as a set of symptoms ranging in severity experienced by those who have participated in or left behind authoritarian, dogmatic, and controlling religious groups and belief systems.
My leg will never be that strong again.
It is not present in the DSM-5 or the ICD-10 as a diagnosable condition, but is included in other conditions that may be a focus of clinical attention. Okay, so that's all the wait, no it's not.
High heat, wet hair, aka the straightener system. OGX waveless repair mist for non-stop damage protection.
Okay. Okay, so I guess that's the